If we only got the news about the Project Motor Racing career mode, this would already be a good week. But we got more. Oh, so much more. This video is dedicated to the memory of Argentinian composer Lalo Schifrin, jazz musician extraordinaire and film and TV composer of extensive range. If you've ever heard dum 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 dum, you've heard his music. Although my personal favorite among a sea of great music has to be the Starsky and Hutch theme. Greetings Romy, you're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing and a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. This week is truly an embarrassment of riches with news about almost every sim out there or planned to be out there at some point during the year. Be it Automobilista 2 or Le Mans Ultimate, Project Motor Racing or Endurance Motorsport series, we've got everything for you here as always. Mind you, this list is not exhaustive, go watch the video. In a week of already big news and therefore big news video, in comes Automobilista 2 with what they would call a regular update, but for most other studios is a big update. With a big jump from version 1643 to version 1650, this update brings the resolution of multiple technical issues and new features as well as significant improvements to the game rendering system. The update also includes visual enhancements to multiple vehicles, with several GT3 cars receiving new headlight configurations for different racing series, updated LED displays and improved material textures. Automobilista 2 now has a way to be launched directly into the multiplayer lobby via web browser, which most assuredly comes from their experience with LFM and the guidance they've gotten there. Several multiplayer bugs have been resolved, including issues with incorrect race results when participants cross the finish line before the green flag after a jump start, and problems with race positioning on shorter tracks under 1.5 kilometers when formation laps were enabled. The developers also fixed complications in the second race of 2 heat championship events related to racing flags and rules. The physics engine received adjustments across numerous vehicle classes, with minor modifications to tire friction characteristics affecting GT cars and various Formula cars. Additional tweaks were made to wet weather tire effects and automatic transmission shift points across all vehicle classes. Specific vehicles receiving physics updates include the Cadillac V-Series R and Porsche 911 RSR GTE. AI driver behavior was refined with adjustments to drag effects and fuel consumption patterns to prevent late race fuel stops. Several tracks received corrections, including Monza 1971, where AI vehicles were overshooting the first turn when exiting the pits, and Virginia South, where certain car types were incorrectly spawning on the pit wall. Truck updates include surface improvements at Kansai and Watkins Glen, collision fixes at Interlagos, and various visual corrections at multiple circuits. The update also adds new safety vehicle options for several South American racing series. Last but not least, Automobilista 2 and many of its DLCs are extremely reduced in the Steam summer sale. We've waited a while to get some news from this upcoming sim because, based on the images, which are not in-game images as far as we can tell, Endurance Motorsport series will be a racing sim done by Nakon and KT Racing together again. The trailer shows the BMW M Hybrid V8 and the BMW M4 GT3 on Fuji, as well as some management elements. The developers are keeping with a vague date of a release late this year on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, and will place you in the driver's seat as well as in the race engineer seat, which up to a point is what we solo sim racers are in every sim, right? In any case, as a race engineer, you will be able to choose from 6 engine maps and can tell your driver to go aggressive or drive conservatively. The devs expect to have a diverse array of official circuits and vehicles lined up for the release along many classes, but for now BMWs and Porsches are the only ones confirmed, as well as Fuji. Asetek has launched their summer sale with discounts up to 20% off sim racing equipment running through the end of July across US, EU and global web shops. The sale features 15% off several La Prima products, including pedal sets and upgrade kits, the La Prima direct drive wheelbase 12 Nm and both Formula and GT button boxes. For even bigger savings, you can get 20% off La Prima and Forte steering wheels as well as Invicta brake and throttle systems. If you're looking for complete setups, Asetek is offering two excellent bundle deals at 15% off. The La Prima GT bundle is priced at $1,200 a bit less in euro, and includes the wheelbase pedal set, GT button box and Comfort Plus rim. For Formula racing enthusiasts, the La Prima Formula bundle comes in at $1,100, again a bit less in euro, and features the wheelbase pedal set, Formula button box and LMP handles. Don't forget to use our affiliate code WromWrom when purchasing to get further 5% off and support the channel. This sale runs until July 31st. Another company with a special price is Fanatec, who are bundling their CSL cockpit with a low force wheel system. For €970 or $1,260, you'll get the CSL cockpit and seat, a CSL DD in 5 Nm base, the CSL pedals, 2-pedal setting, and the CSL steering wheel P1 V2 with QR2 light. Iowa is not only the name of one of Slipknot's all-time best albums, but also the next DLC that will be published for American Truck Simulator. As always, based on the original products, be prepared to haul aluminium, ethanol or different agricultural products, and of course to visit landmarks, find Easter eggs and shortcuts, and all the things you can do in American Truck Simulator anytime. The Iowa DLC is expected to be released on July 10th. They missed the Independence Day deadline. As we said last week, see the link up there, RaceRoom released an update this week with new content, and you can now drive the Tattoos F4 and the Red Bull Ring for free until the 10th of July. There is many a sim and DLC for a much lower price to have in the Steam summer sale. Let us know in the comments if you need some ideas. EuroNascar and iRacing have announced a partnership for iRacing so as to bring a virtual version of the series. iRacing developers will have to convince the AI to not only drive to the left, which may be a difficult feat. This may be the reason why no specific date for the release has been given. And that's not the only news around iRacing we have. They released an update addressing several technical and gameplay issues across the platform. The update resolves a connectivity problem where users could become invisible to other players after disconnecting and reconnecting to sessions. Physics improvements include fixes to tire behavior on wet grass and gravel surfaces, which was previously causing Formula cars to lose control and spin unexpectedly when applying full throttle on wet gravel runoff areas. Race control systems have been updated to prevent race restarts from getting stuck in the 1 to green phase. Visual enhancements focus on reducing graphical popping effects on 3-dimensional curving as camera distances change, and multiple track grass textures have been updated to eliminate patchy and inconsistent appearance issues. Moza wheels now have their master volume reduced by 15 decibels, while Fanatec wheels have their volume increased by 5 decibels. Road texture effects have been reduced by 30 decibels, and the drive shaft effect has been removed entirely. These changes aim to reduce audible noise from wheels when the low-frequency FX system is enabled. Vehicle-specific updates include fixes for NASCAR Cup Series Gen 7 cars preventing system shutdowns when exceeding pace speed, and NASCAR Gen 4 cars now properly displaying oil pressure and temperature gauges at super speedway tracks. And the Gen 3 supercars class received new pit service options for anti-roll bar adjustments, which take 25 seconds for single changes or 50 seconds for both positions during pit stops. setups. Several high-end racing cars, including the BMW M Hybrid V8, Cadillac V-Series R GTP and Porsche 963 GTP, now allow brake migration and brake bias target adjustments to be mapped to in-car controls. The Ferrari 296 Challenge received clutch modifications to prevent drivetrain failures during automatic 6th to 7th gear shifts. Track improvements include updated lighting systems at Bristol Motor Speedway and Darlington, terrain adjustments at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and various cosmetic fixes across multiple venues. And they are offering a 2-year subscription for $70 USD, which one of us has taken them on. If you come to our Discord, you'll find out who. Le Mans Ultimate got a stability update addressing numerous technical issues and bugs across multiple game systems. The developers have resolved several crash-to-desktop problems, including crashes during session transitions, issues with the sound configuration file, crashes when using Alt-Tab during loading in full-screen mode, and problems when connecting controllers or wheels while the sim is running. A specific crash affecting users with Windows accounts containing unsupported characters has also been fixed. Custom livery functionality received several corrections, with fixes for liveries incorrectly duplicating across different vehicles and problems with livery machines generating incorrect user interface screenshots. The developers have temporarily removed the view and edit livery buttons as they were not functioning properly. Online multiplayer stability has been improved with fixes for crashes when exiting practice servers and session transition problems. Several connection issues have been resolved, including problems that prevented some players from joining multiplayer sessions since the June update, edge cases still causing no vehicle errors in online races, and issues preventing users with names longer than 23 characters from joining servers. Drivers can now properly adjust brake bias settings after crashes when rejoining servers. Gameplay fixes include corrections to tire management systems, resolving an issue where players could not equip wet tires after exhausting their dry tire allocation, and fixing instances where players received randomly worn tires when selecting new ones. The race weekend mode has been corrected to allow players to participate after being in online sessions. Race control systems received updates to prevent loading into incorrect practice servers and to properly clear finished registered races when rebooting the game. Also, formation lap procedures have been adjusted to eliminate incorrect gaps between vehicle classes that were causing improper grid positioning. The setup screen no longer generates errors when setup names match track names, and profile information updates now function correctly. Track-specific fixes include corrections at Spa for LMGT3 cars appearing inside each other at the back of the grid during full rolling starts. Wreckfest 2 exists, and once in a while the developers also remember it does and produce some content for it. This time they dropped the Motorhome and a large sedan, the Cardinal, both as American cars. They also dropped 2 new tracks, the Banger Racing dirt track with an oval and a figure-8 layout, and the Scrapyard Demolition Derby arena. All things we already had in Wreckfest 1 in one way or the other, but okay, at least there's movement there. And the Scrapyard Demolition Derby arena has a couple of improvements that makes it more dangerous than anything we saw in Wreckfest 1. There's now also a last man standing demolition derby mode. Also, they've optimized the video memory consumption, and parallel to that, you'll see a warning if the game notices a low amount of it left for the game to run. Regarding server-sided improvements, you will now find configurable event rotations and a way to favorite or unfavorite a server. And while it's easier for cars to lose panels and the collision physics have been improved, cars last longer on normal damage mode, and a car can stall after especially heavy collisions, in particular if the motor was damaged already. Start lights are now displayed at the event start, and the HUD will display a wrong way notification, which in my case would be 50% of the time. Now, if the game would please step up to the level of its excellent trailers. If you like what you see, how about supporting us? A like and a comment to tell the almighty algorithm we are worth watching are a good start. Subscribing is even better, and what really helps us grow is you becoming a patron, as YouTube's income is tiny for a sim racing channels. Patrons get access to exclusive content and are involved in our decision. Help us grow with your support, help us keep spreading the joy of sim racing. Become a patron today. Project Motor Racing will launch on November 25th for PC and consoles, with pre-orders now available for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. And if you are interested in the sim, buying it through the link in our description will give us a couple or more cents per sale and support our work. Just saying. The developers have announced that the game will feature comprehensive mod support from day one across all platforms using the Giants engine, which we suspected they would do. Mod makers will be able to create and share custom content through an in-game portal, which is what Giants have been doing with their farming simulator since kinda forever. The sim will include a single-player career mode designed around the financial and competitive pressures of professional motorsports. Players must manage budgets, repairs and sponsor relationships while making strategic decisions about risk versus reward during races. They say the career mode emphasizes the consequences of racing decisions, where poor performance or crashes can affect an entire season. And a keen eye may be seeing the Zolda track in their trailer, a track that is dear for us for very specific reasons. The sim is expected to feature over 70 recreated vehicles spanning 10 racing categories, including LMDH and GT3 classes, as well as historic racing cars. It will include 27 track layouts. Note, they speak about layouts, not tracks, with dynamic weather systems and day-night cycles, and will run on a 720 Hz physics engine. It will support both single-player career progression and online multiplayer racing. And from the images we got, it seems a single-player race weekend is also in the mix. Unlike some racing games, there will be no unlocking of cars here, just the harsh reality of what you can and can't afford with your budget. Hey, like in real life, right? You will have 3 choices for your start, each with their own budget, but only their specific pressures. But it looks as if, at least when it comes to the budget, there are 4 different difficulty levels. The first level will have you start with a budget of 75,000 USD and choose any amateur or low-level car you want. The second will have you race on GT3 or cars at a similar level with a 600,000 USD budget. The third will give you a budget of $2 million US. And the fourth will turn you into the topical dentist driver with an almost unlimited budget driving historic cars. Oh, but budgets can become slim, as the sim will also simulate the costs you incur in racing. Entry fees, travel costs, repairs. As the saying goes, you only end up with a small fortune in racing when you start with a big fortune. Or you are Ferrari and get your money just because you are there, but that's a completely different discussion. There will also be 2 modes of doing the career. Authentic, which is like an Iron Man setting where you cannot restart and cannot set up the AI, and traditional, where you can restart the races, set up the AI to fit you, and so on. You will also choose different sponsors with different wishes and different budgets, and so on and so forth. And I'd like you to know, Cody has developed a speech impediment since the release of all that information, because he's drooling like a puppy expecting his favorite treat. Woof.